Hey guys, it's Moody here, and I noticed that a lot of people were complaining that they were having problems trying to find the Beedrillite. So I decided that I am going to try and do a somewhat advanced guide of how to go through the abandoned ship, because it is kind of complicated if you're not sure what you're doing. So the easiest way to get to there, if you haven't been down this route before, is you can go to Dewford Town and start surfing all the way to the right. You cannot miss this. It's on Route 108. You simply surf straight ahead. I was trying to avoid trainers there because I really didn't want to deal with that. And then you'll notice the camera angle changes, and that's where you want to be. See, Mauville is also known as the abandoned ship. Once you get off, you can walk across and go upward. So there are a couple things on the ship that you can receive. Not all of them are too important. If you want to avoid them, that's fine too, but there is an escape rope. So once you're done with this mission, you'll be able to escape easily. You can talk to this doctor too. He wants to look for a scanner if you want to help him out with that. And then there's another Pokeball that's around here, which I believe gives you a TM. But I also decided to talk to her. She asked for a donation. It's not much, so I just decided to donate to it. I'm not sure if it actually does anything yet, but if it does, I guess you guys can let me know. So then you can just continue exploring the top of the ship. This isn't where you're going to find the Beedrillite. The steps to get the Beedrillite are kind of complicated if you don't, like I said, if you aren't aware of what you're doing. So you also find TM for Rain Dance up here if you want to grab that. It's in a yellow Pokeball. There's not much else that's up here, so you can proceed to the bottom. And I always want to try and talk to everyone here in case they gave me clues to it. But most people here didn't really help me too much, so I was kind of blind there. But the first task that you're going to want to do is go to room 1. But before you even start doing this, you're going to need surf and you're going to need dive. As long as you have access to surf and dive, you can complete everything within this mission. So you can pick up a max repel there and then just jump right into the water. As long as you have surf, you're fine. And then you'll see a slightly darker part. I actually missed it the first time, as sad as that is. But the slightly darker portion over there you can dive into. I only noticed it after talking to the little kid over there, and then I accidentally clicked his dialogue again. But like I said, easily just dive right into there, and then you'll be taken to the under part of the ship, in which case you'll be able to dive, and then you can cross the ship, go underwater and cross the ship to the other side. So this part is fairly self-explanatory. You're trying to find the key to the first room, and then the first room you're going to try and find clues to go to another room, and so on and so forth. So that's what this whole thing is like. A huge tip that I can give you is try and interact with every single object that you can. As long as you interact with every single object that you can, eventually you'll find all the clues or keys to get to the storage room, which is going to be your final destination, so to speak. The storage room is going to contain everything that you want to find, the Beedrillite, and you're also going to get a lot of goodies in it, like nuggets if you'd like to sell them. So this guy stops you, just asking you to tell him if you find any goods. So you can always go into this room right here. I decided to check it out. I really don't think that this room had much in it. She really didn't tell me much that was useful, and the things that you can interact with in this room, like the dressers and the bed, aren't really that useful. He also doesn't really provide me with much information. I find out that the door here is also locked, so eventually we're going to get into that room as well as the room over here. So it's also useful if you have the room numbers just in your head. And if you talk to the girl with the pink tube over here, she'll give you the key to room 1. So this is our first step to getting the Beedrillite. We know that room 1 is back on the other side, and just because I wanted to, I figured I'd talk to this kid in case he had anything else useful to tell me, which he didn't. You can also grab the Pokeball here, and it's going to contain the white herb. If you want to grab that, that's fine. And then you can head back to the other side of the ship and go downward onto room 1. Once you come up, the first room should be the second room on your left, and then you can use the key and walk into it. Now this is where most people I noticed had trouble. Once you walk into the room, there are two people there. Those people want to battle you, so you can't avoid them if you just try and avoid the interaction. They really don't provide much for you. And I was kind of confused on what to do, so I was walking around this room here. I ended up walking into them, and they want to battle, but like I said, their battle really provides you with nothing but experience, and their dialogues really don't help you in this mission at all. So this is exactly where it kind of got confusing for me. I was running around the room. I'm like, where do I go from here? And this is where most people get lost. So I'm like, something in that room is going to help me proceed on to the next part of this. So make sure you stay in the room, or if you left already, then return to the room, and this is where you start clicking things. You click on this locker. It really doesn't tell you anything, but then you click on these cabinets, and the cabinets, one of these cabinets is going to give you a key, and this is exactly what you need to get to the next part of this. So moving on, we find room 2. Room 2 is going to be the first room on your left if you're coming up from the diving spot. So you can go on to room 2, which is just below room 1, use the key, and once you go into room 2, you're gonna see a couple things in here. The people in this room actually give you the key that you need to proceed on to the next one. If you click the objects around this room, they really don't provide you with anything in terms of clues on what to do next. So if you want to, you can avoid clicking the objects in this thing. You can also grab a Pokeball here, and it has a revive if you really need one. It's really useful in case one of your Pokemon faints or something. So I continued to click around the cabinet. The cabinet also really didn't provide me with anything. I clicked both of them just in case they had two different things, but they really don't provide you with anything. And then the cabinet over here doesn't provide you with anything useful either, except for some backstory if you really want to pay attention to that. But other than that, you can click on these two people. This other girl is going to give you a key for the next door, and this is room 6. So if you remember, room 6 is also going to be on the completely other side of the ship again. So we're going to have to go back down on the ship and go and dive and get to the other side and complete the task from there. Once you resurface, you just need to find the room 6. I clicked on this guy by accident, but that's not room 6, so I ran back out, and I kind of forgot where room 6 was. That's room 4, and then room 6 is going to be the second room on your right. So you open the keyhole and you get into the room, and now this room, the interactions in this room also don't matter. You just want to run across to the other side and get outside. Once you get outside, you surf once again, and then you end up talking to this fisherman. This fisherman is going to give you another key, and trust me, you are so close to getting to the storage room that you only need to get to one more room, and then you're done with this mission entirely. So you get that room, and then if you remember, the 4th room is right across from the 6th room, basically. So you end up going back, you go into the room that you were in previously, and then you walk out of here. There's nothing for interaction with objects here that's really useful in this mission. And then I accidentally walked into this room once more, so I'm going to exit right out. But I meant to walk into room 4, which is right across. You use the key on this room, which is self-explanatory. You walk in, and then here you're going to end up finding some more cabinets. I ended up clicking them just in case they end up having something in terms of interaction that I need, because at this point I'm trying to find the storage key, and this is just information regarding backstory, once again, if you really want to read through it. And there's also a Pokeball here, and finally this Pokeball contains the storage key that you need to get the Beedrillite, as well as all the nuggets. And all the nuggets you can resell for pretty good money in this game if you're wondering what they're for. And in a second you'll see how much stuff is actually in this storage room, and you will finally get the Beedrillite. And like I said, I know a lot of people had trouble with this, and that's why I decided to do a detailed guide on it. And hopefully this is going to help you guys. And once you reach the storage room, easily go in, And then I sped the dialogue up because I really didn't care much for it, and I really just wanted to show that this is the room in which you get the Beedrillite, because I know I wasn't too specific within the guide for all the Megastones, so this is a specific guide. You see all these Pokeballs, and then you see the sparkle in the corner of the room. You can use Surf to get around the crate and then grab the Beedrillite, and you're done with this mission. Hopefully this helped you, and as always, I love you guys and have a wonderful day, and bye!